I would like now to recite you a movie that was written by a friend of mine. This faggot, hey, fuck you, named Mike Jones, that was written about 10 years ago. Cause I understand there was some people wondering what it would be like if I came to this son of a fuck's house 10 years ago. This story is called I Could Write a Better Movie Than X-Men 2. Once upon a time, there was a man named Mike who lived on the moon. He lived in a little tent with his pet Martian monkey, and they sat up all night drinking whiskey, eating pork and beans, and singing songs about trains. Then one day Santa Claus came to the moon and said, Mike, won't you guide my sleigh to that? Now Mike was a little unsure of this. He'd met Santa Claus once back on Earth at the mall once, and he didn't look like no Santa Claus, so Mike beat the shit out of him and stole his suit. Got this sleigh, motherfucker, he shouted as he flipped Santa Claus the bird and took off in his sleigh with 8 jolly reindeer and Rudolph tied up in the back. I hope you horses like Mexico, he shouted as he took another belt from his bottle of Sunnybrook and whipped the reindeer sadistically. Mike kept on laughing, drinking, and whipping the reindeer until they arrived at their final destination. The reindeer looked on at the sign at the front door of the house whose chimney they had just landed on with horror. El Donkey Bar, the sign read. You boys are going to make me some money, Mike giggled as he finished the last drop of Sunnybrooks. The reindeers weren't going to put up with this bullshit. They knocked Mike unconscious and took off running. When Mike came to, he discovered he was being videotaped by a tribe of Banditos who had kidnapped him and another man who at the time was unfamiliar to him. Jorge the Bandito spoke into the stolen Telemundo camera and English announced for all of America to hear, I am Jorge from Mexico! Attention, America! We have kidnapped Santa Claus and President George Bush's personal coke dealer. If the president does not return the state of Texas to my people, they both shall be killed. Just then, President Bush kicked down the door and shouted, Not so fast, you gall-darn terrorists! No one fucks with Santa Claus and Frosty the Snowman, not on my watch. Then George Bush started kung fu fighting all the Banditos, but he was outnumbered and was having troubles. The snowman wrestled a big bag of blow from his back pocket with his duct tape behind the chair hands and tossed it at Mike. Mike managed to maneuver the bag of candy up to his nose and snorted it all. Oh, speaking of which, oh yeah. All of a sudden, that charge song started playing, and Mike broke free of his captivity and started pow and ramming all the Banditos like Batman would. After all the Banditos had been killed, Mike pulled the president out of the fetal position and untied Frosty the Coke Man. Santa Claus won! Mexican Banditos nothing! Ah! Mike laughed triumphantly. You saved my life, Santa Claus, the president swooned. I hereby declare you the new president and me on a year-long coke bender. Everyone cheered, and the president and Frosty skipped happily down to Colombia and lived happily ever after until George had a heart attack while he was robbing Frosty at gunpoint. Meanwhile, Mike gave the State of the Union address dressed as Santa Claus. I hereby dismiss Congress and announce that the United States is now a totalitarian colony ruled by the North Pole. You will salute jolly old Saint Nick or get a lump of lethal injection in your stockings. How do you like me now, you bunch of bitches? I guess you should have been a little less naughty and a little more nice this year, huh? Yeah, I see you when you're sleeping, especially when it's with that transvestite hooker you picked up in the alleyway. Mike then ordered the execution of everyone in the world and everyone died. Then when everyone was dead, Mike ripped off his Santa Claus suit, got bare-ass naked, and started doing the Watusi. The end. And that's how you write an action movie. X-Men, what a load of shit. What the fuck is your problem? I'm sorry. I apologize, people. That was Cyrus. That was me.